catcher Josh Thole's fate is in the hands of baseball's 29 general managers not named Ross Atkins. Thole was placed on waivers after the Jays traded for Thole Navarro on the weekend. If Thole clears waivers prior to September 1st, he could be eligible for Toronto's playoff roster. But if some other team claims him, out of need or just to meet the Blue Jays, he would be out of the picture for Toronto going forward. The Jays would at least like to get him back in the organization to catch knuckleball Arabiki in September, even if Thole was not eligible for the playoff roster. "We're hoping to get him back," said manager John Gibbons. Thole was disappointed, but he understands what's going on. "I think the club controls how soon it can happen. So we're not going to drag that out." That said, Gibbons was pleased to be able to welcome Navarro back into the fold. "I've always been a big fan, not just of the player but of the guy," said Gibbons. "He mixes well, always thinking baseball. He's just one of those guys. His teammates love him. It's like he never left. He walks in here this afternoon and everybody just gravitates to him. He looks great. Lost a lot of weight." Gibbons hasn't settled on a specific role for Navarro, but he does have a special relationship with Marco Estrada. Having caught most of his starts last year, he'll get playing time. "Russ is our guy, but Navarro will get plenty of playing time." Rotation mystery when Aaron Sanchez comes back from his stint on the Huntington Blue Jays roster to pitch on Wednesday, the Jays will have to settle on their rotation going forward. The expectation is that they will go back to the six-man arrangement for at least one more turn, but Gibbons wasn't about to define things on Monday. "We haven't settled on anything," said the manager. "Not today." Skip Gibbons was in touch with Mark Bureau last week and offered the retired lefty the playful reminder. "I texted Bureau last week and said, rosters expand in September. He sent me a picture of himself out on the lake and said, 'What do you think?' End of discussion." Beasts of the East. The Jays began a 15-game tour of the AL East on Monday, the first game of a 9-game road trip to Baltimore, Tampa Bay and New York. When the Jays get back home, they face the Red Sox in a 3-game set, followed by another 3-gamer against Tampa Bay. "1 month left and we're facing our division," said Gibbons. "I think we were talking at the beginning of the season about how it all might shake out, and I thought even back then the way that everybody was beating each other that it was all going to come down to September. And that's what has happened. That's the way it ought to be." For what it's worth, the Jays went into last night's game with the best record within the division at 29-22. The Orioles were at 27-23 and the Red Sox at 26-24. Limit on call UPS. If Gibbons had his druthers, there would be a limit on how many September call-ups would be eligible to play on any given night. Currently, every team is allowed to expand the active roster to include any or all of the 40-man roster. Most teams limit the number of call-ups to a manageable level of, say, 6 or 8. I think it should be set up that you can expand but only using a couple of guys every game, and you have to designate who they are before the game. That would be a smart way to solve the problem. For teams that are still trying to make it to the playoffs, the expanded rosters can be a nightmare, given that they will be facing a lot of players they don't know anything about. Generally, the teams that are still in the thick of it stick with the guys who have gotten them there, said Gibbons. "I can't see the other side of the argument. Teams that are rebuilding want to give some other players a look. If you limit it and designate who can't play on a given night, I would be in favor of that." The Jays have not announced who is coming for a September look. "We've got a pretty good idea, but we just have to confirm everything once we get past these 3 games, he said. "The first is Thursday and there will be some guys coming up, a handful of relievers that will cover us and a few position players, too.